Greetings and welcome to this episode of Leadership Edge. I'm Dr. Chavonne. As you know, Leadership Edge is a show that equips women to lead with clarity, courage, and conviction. And today we're going to kick off our empowering series, You Matter Too, Self-Care for Women Who Lead. And this episode will focus on You Can't Pour from an Empty Cup. So we're going to talk about what it really means for women like you, whether you are a leader, a caregiver, a mentor, and visionary or visionary, what it means that regardless of what title you hold, what position you stand in, if your cup is empty, you are not going to be fulfilled and you're not going to have the success that you need to have because that cup is not where it should be, which is mean overflowing. Guys, we live in a culture that applauds overwork. I mean, think about it. In the United States, and this is Western culture, 40 hours a week is minimal. But people who are working that 60 to 70-hour week, that label is considered a label of excellence. But the truth is, leadership fatigue is real and it's happening every day and it's happening all around us. Many of us are just leading on fumes and we're showing up for others while ignoring ourselves. So, the scriptures passage that kind of stuck with me on this topic was in Psalms 23:3, and it says, He restores my soul. God just doesn't cause us to green pastures to work, He calls us there for rest and to be restored. Restoration is a leadership strategy, not a retreat. So, let me share an experience for me. Recently, I've taken on the responsibility of working an additional job. I work multiple jobs because financially, I'm on a financial goal. I'm on a goal to get debt free. I can't speak for everyone, but a lot of us have student loan debts. And I promise you, if I could get from up under that student loan debt, it will bring me so much relief. But whether you're working on your financial goals, your career goals, your business goals, life can come upon you to where you forget about you in the process. And even though those goals will help achieving those goals will help me, but if I forget about me, the body, my personal needs, that's when that fatigue kicks in. And that's when you're working on the fumes. And I'm going to be honest, I've noticed I'm on fumes. I am working on fumes. I'm working on fumes. And I'm here to encourage myself as well as encourage you about the importance of why self care matters and that I can't give out of a cup that's not filled already. There's nothing going to come out of an empty cup. And so I want to encourage you in this episode. And so here are some signs that you're leading empty. As I shared before, the fumes, there's nothing in your cup. That means you're probably irritable, you're numb, you may be annoyed, or you get annoyed quickly. You're constantly exhausted, and you can't sleep well. You dread things that you used to enjoy. I mean, it could be something as simple as watching that basketball game, and all of a sudden it's like they do something, and you just like, that just got on my nerves. You may snap quicker, just certain things just causes you to snap because of your irritability. You struggle to hear from God clearly. I've been there. Sometimes I feel like I'm there now. Sometimes I feel like I can hear from God better for others than I hear from myself. I know that sounds insane, but it does, especially because in my role in ministry, one of my key callings, or I should say, what I'm graced with, is intercession. And I can pray for people all the time, but it seems like in the area for me, I struggle with it. So if anyone can relate, I can relate to you so you're not alone. So, what is self care really? It's not indulgence, it's stewardship. Are you stewarding the same way you steward your finances, the same way you steward your family, the same way you steward your household? You have to steward your self care as well. It's not being selfish, it's sacred. It's a sacred moment. It's a moment where you get time for you. So, what can you do this week? And I want to encourage you. I hope you're taking notes. What can you do this week to begin to implement change into your daily activity to where you're putting you first, putting self first? Block out 30 minutes of quiet rest, no productivity. Well, guys, I'm real like my friend laugh at me all the time. I was like, girl, I need to go take me a nap. And she be like, I can't take a nap. I said, no, I can't. Because sometimes I may not actually physically go to sleep, but I will sit down, get in a place of quiet. Or I can have a TV on in the background and it's just maybe, and it might just be watching me or my eyes are closed. And sometimes you don't even go into deep sleep, but just closing your eyes and taking those deep breaths in, that's a form of relaxation and it gets you to a place of quietness and rest. Say no. It's nothing wrong with telling people no, and you don't have to give an explanation as to why. If they say, well, can't you say, hey, you know what? I'm not able to do that for you right now, but I can recommend this person for you. And I want you also to identify one area where you feel overextended and ask yourself, is this mine to carry? I know a while ago I was in ministry and you know how we were needing banners and I just took it upon myself. Okay, well, let me learn how to put banners together, and you would use what is it, Canva. And so I could do it. I was not a graphic designer. That is not my talent. I promise you it's not. I could do your basic banner. I know how to choose a picture, change the font, you learn how to play with it. And finally, I had to tell myself as my life began to shift because I was going to school and finishing up school and my work life was changing. I had to tell myself, no, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. And even now I'm saying, okay, friends like, okay, are you going to be able to be involved? Okay, yeah, I can be involved, but let me be the one, let me be the backup person where before, because of how I was working, or I could say, okay, I could take the lead on this, or I can be, because that's how I am. I take the lead. And like when they ask somebody, well, can you do this? And people be sitting there just like, okay, I can do it, whatever. And I get up and I get it done. Everyone's not like that, but I've had to learn that. No, Chavonne, you need to sit down. You need to let someone else do it. And so that's when I'm asking you to ask yourself this question. Is this mine to carry? Because you don't want to feel like you are overextended. So I hope you are able to identify an area where you are overextended. So in this next part, I want to keep going a little deeper. Let's talk about some faith integration and reflection. Jesus himself modeled this in Luke 5:16. He says, but Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. How many times do you just withdraw and pray and just sit in some quiet moments and just say, Lord, here I am. If the Savior of the world took time to reset, we can do it too. You don't have to apologize for needing rest. You matter too. That's the whole purpose of this series, is to empower you women. Ladies, you matter. I'm here to tell you, you do matter, and your self-care takes precedence over everything. So I'm going to leave you with this question, and I want you to really meditate on this question. I encourage you to comment about this question or send us an email as well about this question, what your thoughts are, what came to mind when you asked yourself this. It says, where have I abandoned my own well-being in the name of leadership? Powerful. I want to encourage you. Your calling is too important to be carried from a dry place. Once again, if the cup is empty, you have nothing to really give. You're giving fumes, you're giving air like poof. There's nothing for you to give. Lead from overflow, not leftovers, because the leftovers will not sustain you. And as I close out this topic, once again, you can't pour from an empty cup. Here's your challenge for the week. Schedule a 2-hour mini retreat where you don't take your computer. I'll let you have the cell phone, but minimize your cell phone usage if you can. Really do it. 2-hour mini retreat. No emails, no expectations, just rest and reconnection. And in the process, I encourage you to take this question, write it in your journal. What does my soul need to feel full again? Ask yourself that. Your anchor verse is this, Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. So while you're on your mini retreat, you're going to ask yourself, what does my soul need to feel full again? That's a powerful question. Ask yourself that on your mini retreat. I know I need to take a mini retreat. Matter of fact, I need to just go away for a weekend, stay in a hotel, don't turn on the TV, and just be there. Because sometimes you have to get out of your environment if you live with a lot of people. That's mine. I live with people. So when I come in the house, they're talking to you, they're calling on you to do things. Separate yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking that time to separate yourself. Well, I hope that this episode of Leadership Edge has empowered you, has impacted you, and caused you to think about your leading or how you are leading and why it's important that you know that you matter and that it's important for self-care to be a part of your daily routine, because I don't want you to continue to pour from an empty cup. So thank you again for joining me on Leadership Edge. And remember, you are not your productivity. You are a daughter of God, worthy of rest, restoration, and renewal. And next week, I look forward to our next topic. We'll be discussing leadership fatigue is real, how to recognize it and what to do before it breaks you, and you don't want to miss it. Also, I want to encourage you to follow, share, and leave us a review. So we have a comment section. You can go out to our Instagram page and our Facebook page and follow us, as well as you can subscribe to our YouTube page so that you will always be notified when we have posted new video content for you. I pray that this episode has blessed you, and I encourage you to send it to a fellow leader who needs to be reminded that she matters too. Don't forget, also in our comment section, if you are interested, you can schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me, Dr. Chavonne. I am a life, career, and business coach. I help women transition in key areas. For instance, if you're transitioning careers, if you're deciding at a certain age that you have been out of school, maybe 10, 15 years, even if you've been out of school 3 years and you're saying, oh, I want to go back to school, but I work full time, I can speak to that. Maybe you want to write your first book. Well, I have published 5 books and I'm currently working on my 6th one, and I'm going to be announcing that real soon. I'm excited about that. I can help you go through this process of transition and transformation because I have done it, and I want to coach you and take you to the next level. My whole goal is to take you from being stoppable to being unstoppable. So I look forward to connecting with you. Also, you can go out to our website and you can subscribe to our newsletter. We send out a monthly newsletter to keep you empowered, to keep you informed, and to hopefully provide you with some tips on how you can continue to run this race, not only for Jesus Christ, but to run this race for you to achieve the goals that you have set forth for yourself to achieve. Thank you so much for connecting with me, and stay tuned for our next episode of Leadership Edge. Have a blessed day.